We'll start 3 lines into Ois Lamed. The line starts with the word levadecha. We're speaking about the 3 madrigas in Oir. Right now we spoke till now about the first 2 madrigas. And now we are making certain points regarding these first 2 madrigas. The first madriga is described as ha-melech hamreim levadoi, meyoz. The melech is all by himself. There is no world element at all. And yet we are speaking the ha-melech hamreim, the one who elevated. If there's nothing to be elevated from, what is the meaning is elevated? Levadei by himself. Levadei, he cannot be elevated. It is what it is. Thus, we explain what it means is here. Okay, this is what we started already, and the 3rd line, the middle of the 3rd line, Vahainu, and that. The point in this is Bechinas Malchus de Insoif. This is the Bechina of Malchus de Insoif. Malchus is that which extends out, like a melech who embraces his entire country. This is the Malchus de Insoif, K'moi shehu lifnei hatzimtzum, as the Malchus is before the Tzimtzum. Before the Tzimtzum means that there is nothing external. It's all internal in him. Shezehu, which is Bechinas ha-shorosh shebeinosav ha-bli gvul. This is the Bechina. This is the aspect of ha-shorosh, means the projection that is within the Beinosav ha-bli gvul. Lahoyir bechinas gvul. To express in a gvul bechina, in the aspect of gvul. There is no gvul to speak of. There is only he. In other words, this is not a hashor, a projection to provide something that is being solicited. There is no solicitor. In and of itself, within the Malchus itself, there is that projection, that will, to express bivchinas gvul in an aspect of gvul. There is no gvul, but in the aspect of gvul, he wants to express himself in a gvul aspect, in a gvul manner. He wants that his bli gvul and his infinity should be able to be spoken of and to be described in gvul manner. B'chinas gvul. V'hein esser sphirot ha-ganuzot. And these are the esser sphirot ha-ganuzot. The 10 spheres what's called ha-ganuzot. Ha-ganuzot means that are concealed and contained within the Ein Sof. They are not entities, separate outside entities. Within the Ein Sof, it is part of the Ein Sof. Commission is boiled yield perek of Zayin, as we already discussed earlier. And what did we discuss over here? The bechino madrega zu. That this bechino and this madrega. Again, just want to point out, we have to use the word bechino over here. But I not have to say madrega, because there is no identifiable presence. It's a concept. It's a conceptual madrega. It's a bechina madrega. This bechina madrega here, betachlis ha-yichud va-yiskalos be'ein sof. It's totally and completely united and incorporated by Ein Sof. To what extent? Betachlis. Tachlis means the ultimate. Nothing left unincorporated. Below bechushbon esser sphirot Ayin. It doesn't go into the category that you can begin to count esser spheres. There's nothing to count. There's only one reality, Ein Sof. Kanal perek of tes. As you already discussed before, this is the first madrega. Well, okay. Now you have to. I want to be careful with this to draw from each word the inference. Well, okay. And thus, and for this reason, since that they are not bechushbon, there's no counting. There's only one truth. Therefore, harei then by inference, it is b'bchinas reimus v'yisnamus legamri. Is in total elevation. Legamri means in total elevation. There is nothing to be compared to. Totally untouchable, so to speak. V'hainu, and that would mean, since it's b'chinas reimus v'yisnasus legamri, which means there is nothing. It is not yisnasus in terms of being elevated above of something. Hainu, in other words, it means b'chinas yisnasus atzmi. B'chinas yisnasus atzmi, in the aspect what's called yisnasus atzmi. A hisnasus that is atzmi, that is his own, within himself, his own hisnasus, not the hisnasus that he keeps above, keeps off from something else, something lower. Hisnasus atzmi is hisnasus that is his own hisnasus. Elevation. Like a nosi. You know what a nosi is? As I explained many times, the term atzmi, though extremely significant, but we do not have a means to define it in our world. Because in our world, atzmi does not exist. Everything exists within a certain context. As I pointed out many times, and I want to make the point again, the very simple first approach of referring to the Meibach, referring to God, is Motzoi Rishon. And the Rambam says Motzoi Rishon. What does Motzoi Rishon mean? A first being. First means literally first, in an absolute sense.
As opposed to sequential,
I'm sorry?
As opposed to sequential, absolute.
As opposed to consequential. As opposed to having some kind of cause. A few more words in the next line. The Rebbe explains the term hisnasasatzmi. At least gives us an approach to understanding what he means by hisnasasatzmi. He says, the me'achar, that since she'eine b'bchinas moker adayin, that it is not b'bchinas moker, it is not in the aspect of a moker, of a source for what follows. Memela, then automatically, therefore, harei zeh b'bchinas hisnasasatzmi. He is not a source for anything. That means that he is in an aspect of hisnasasatzmi. He is into himself. He is completely into himself, elevated from any effects or any further interests. Is he bored because he's alone? So the answer is absolutely not. If he's so much alone, so how come he's not bored? What's Akiva?
No, he's the ultimate of everything.
Okay. Yeah. What is the phenomenon of boredom?
How could the business being in the universe be bored?
He's not busy at all. He's not creating anything. He's not the penis mocker.
But we say he creates the world every second.
That's much later. That's another madriga.
Okay.
And when he creates, it's also not by preoccupation. But in any case, right now he is not creating anything. He's by himself, and yet he is not bored. Why is he not bored? Boredom is caused by a sense that there is something lacking in this state of being. It needs to be complemented with something. I'm a top chess player. But that let me sleep peacefully? No, I want to be challenged. I want to be proving it all the time. Why? Because the whole significance of being a top chess player is that you can best somebody else. You can stand up to challenge. But this is Hisnasas Atzmi. This is a truth all unto itself. This truth is not for the purpose of being able to prove itself or accomplish anything. It's beyond that. Misnasim and Misela. That's what Rebbe says. I'm starting again from the third line from the bottom. The me'acha she'einei bibchinas moker adayin. That since he is not bibchinas moker, he is not in the realm, in the aspect of moker, a source for anything. He is unto himself. Memela, then as a result, that means that has this qualifies as a snasas atzmi, an essential element, not an elevation relative to something else. If it were relative to something else, then he would be demanding that he should engage that something else. But he's not involved in it at all. It's not Satsmi. Again, I'm pointing out, Atzmi in general is a term, is a concept that does not exist in worldly orientation. In the world, everything has some kind of a function and a purpose. We have in this country an expression called independently wealthy. What does that mean? Does that wealth give him any direct satisfaction because he is independently wealthy? Independently wealthy means that he can do unobstructed in the world. He can innovate, he can create a new idea. If he were not independently wealthy, if he wants to create a new idea, he has to go and sell it to other people that they should come in support of it. He can just create something what he believes he wants to create. The Rothschilds created colonies in Israel. I moved the evening to Israel. This was way back when. He didn't consult anyone. He didn't need anybody's support and joining. He decided he wants to do it. He went and he purchased the land and he developed it and he brought people involved. This is called independently wealthy. But if he were not doing all of that, without wealth give him any kind of a satisfaction. The whole phenomenon of wealth is what you can do with it. This is nasos atzmi. It's a completely different meaning. He's not in the aspect of a mocker, of a source, of a of a cause of anything. Therefore, memela, therefore it means by hareze b'chinas yisnasos. This is the beginning of what's called yisnasos. If we are going to translate the word yisnasos, that he is completely unto himself. Yes, he's not bored. Doesn't bother him. Because this greatness is something which is great in and of itself. Then we go a step further. And this is where we start, as in the previous thing, going back and forth. V'hagam, although shezehu ha'hashara lahoi b'bchinas gvul, b'mido gvul. Although that this is called Malchus the Insof, which means it is not the internal qualities that are meant to stay internal. Rather, it is called Malchus. Malchus means that which comes to expression and effect externally. So he said that this is Sas means the Hagam, although that this is in fact Shezehu ha'ashoro l'hoi l'bchinas midu gvul. Right, 2 lines on the bottom. This is the hashara, this is the projection, l'hoi, to express and to stand b'mido gvul, in mido, within the realm of mido gvul, of measure and limit. In other words, he is projecting the inyan that he wants to affect on a mido gvul level. Not in the gvul. So therefore, if this is l'hoi b'mido gvul, how is it it's not satzmi? He has a projection. He wants to accomplish something. L'hoi b'chinas mido gvul. How is it satzmi? The answer is mikol mokom, yet still. Harei einei b'bchinas hamshoch. Okay, I promise you this is going to be extremely challenging, but we'll try to use the best qualities we have. It is not in a manner, an quality, an aspect, hamshocha. Hamshocha means coming forth, bringing forth, which is only internal. It's not a coming forth. That it should be interpreted as begeder mokoir. It should be defined and thought of as a mokoir in the category of a mokoir of a source of something. He's not a source of anything. It's an internal projection. That in fact, this Ein Sof, this Bli Gvul, can be effective and can be expressed in a Mido Gvul manner, in a finite and a limited manner. But it's not between Hamshocha Klal, it's not in Hamshocha at all. So that it cannot be construed, viewed as a gather, in the category of a mocker, of a source. Okay. If you recall, we spoke in the following terms. We spoke about our awareness of space per se. The awareness of space does not demand that we should contemplate how big it is. If you stand in one place and you see a place that is miles and miles away, Doesn't bother you, it's a miles away. You're not even contemplating the fact that this can be subdivided into miles. It's one contiguous, one true presence of this reality. And you're satisfied with this. That's fine. That is the reality of the world. And that is, if you're comfortable with it. You don't feel constrained. I see the whole thing. Only when you begin to contemplate, as we said the other day, projecting, what about that way? Can I be there? Once we start talking in terms of can I be there, then there is the element of subdividing the distance into measurable entities. Because if you're contemplating, can I be there? How far is it? Then you start talking in terms of distance. And here again, as we said then, I can be there by sight, completely unrestrained. Instantaneously I can be there. I don't even contemplate how far it is that I see. Nonetheless, this is a separate place than where I am. Before thinking, can I be there, these two places are not two separate places. I am wherever I want to be. Now when we start talking in terms of, can I be there, you're talking in terms of my own limits. I am not everywhere, I'm just here. So can I be there? I'm in one place at a time. Then it becomes necessary, it becomes not necessary, then it's the subdivision of distance surfaces. And if you go a step further, as we said that time, not can I be there, but I'd like to go there. In order to contemplate, I go there, then I have to actually identify how many steps is it, and how long is it going to take. But initially, even though this is within, so to speak, time and space, but you don't see it from that vantage point, because you're using a completely different faculty of sight, and there's no bounds. So if we translate this into what we're learning, even though there is the ashora lahoy b'mido gvul, two lines on the bottom, lahoy b'mido gvul, that there is a mido gvul existent, and there is a contemplation of how can I? Is there another place that is different than this place? Mido gvul. This place and that place are not the same one. But it's not in the state of hamshacha. He's not contemplating how to get there. Therefore, this is not the source that enables the getting there. In order to enable that again, you have to actually identify individual distances, components. And here there are no components.
In order to get there in sight,
What do you mean inside?
Inside.
Sight?
In vision, yeah.
Sight is instantaneous.
Yeah. But the process just before that, you're talking about, is in order to be able to get with the sight instantaneously. In order to be able to get. Is it possible to rephrase what you just said?
No, it's not possible. Next time. It's recorded. You can hear it. All right. Have a great day.
To remain on this call, press 1.
Yeah.